Every week, I reach out to you with some kind of training in the security and investigations world. Sometimes it's a little bit softer of a tip or something like that, just a little bit how to deal with things. Sometimes it's a very tangible tip or trick or technique, source or method to help your private investigation world. This week, solid one, I'm going to tell you the number one thing that will increase your odds for success on surveillance. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. I'm the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. Forget credentials for a minute. If you've watched me for 7.5 years online, let me tell you, the number one thing you can do to increase your odds for success on surveillance is recon, recognizance ahead of time. This will vastly improve your odds for success. What it means is you're not showing up at just before you're supposed to do surveillance and trying to find a spot to set up, looking at where people are going to come and go, flow of traffic, that type of thing. I think a lot of investigators will do the online version of preparing for this. I mean, and naturally, of course, do that. Look at where are the major intersections. Are there traffic lights there? Are you going to have to turn, what would it be, left against traffic to follow this person if they turn right out of their driveway? Do all of that. Of course, do all that. But going out and actually doing the eyes-on recon the day before or earlier in the day does make a significant difference in your odds for success. I'll give you a real-life case study where it's not even apples and oranges. It's comparing apples to apples on this thing. I was hired by a woman on her boyfriend who she believed was cheating on her after work. And he got off work at something like 1 o'clock in the morning. And she was just concerned why he wasn't coming directly home, or was he taking too long to come home, or what the problem was. And she hired me for this case. And here's the thing. I didn't know it at the time. Through a long string of events, she had hired another detective agency as well. She got anxious waiting for them to go out. They just didn't have a spot open for her right away. So she hired them, non-refundable retainer, couldn't get out of it, but then started calling around. She found me who could go out right away. It was a 3-night gig to follow this guy 3 consecutive nights as he left work. On the third night, she tells me, Larry, just to let you know, there's going to be another agency out there. They're going to be following the guy too. All right, good to know. I appreciate the heads up. Here's the thing. During daylight, I went out to the facility where this guy works. Not a small place, not super complex parking, but whatever. Had to drive around and find where is this guy parked. This was the very first day that I did the work. Took one vehicle out that I wasn't going to do surveillance in. Drove until I found where the vehicle was, got a feel for the place, and departed. Even if I was spotted or what's this vehicle doing here or whatever, I'm going to come back totally different. Again, and on a different shift for that matter. Again, I come back, in the middle of the night. I'm able to be in my surveillance vehicle now, set up on the vehicle right away, the subject's car. Gets off work, I follow him, no problems at all. Do this for 2 nights. On the third night, the other investigators are out there, and I am so impressed. I'm looking around. I can't find them. They're invisible. They're next level skill to me. I can't do as well as they're doing by any stretch. So I follow the guy, and I'm halfway looking. Where's the other tail? I can't. This is crazy. You should be able to spot a tail if you're looking for one. Finish up. Get the video, everything, call the client the next day and say, hey, here's what happened, and here's the video. I got the video to show it. And she says, well, the other agency said he wasn't out there at all. Well, sorry, he was. Here's the difference. They didn't do the pre-recognizance work. They just didn't do the work necessary to be successful. And this poor gal was out all the money with them, non-refundable retainer. Look, was it easy for me the first time I went in there to find where this guy parks? It wasn't particularly easy. It took a little bit of time. But it was worth it because I got 3 consecutive nights of work, success, good case, and was able to give an answer to this woman. You will find, especially if you're starting out with surveillance, going out ahead of time and scoping things out will vastly improve your odds for success. Number one tip, number one thing to improve your odds for success. There's a lot of things you can do to improve your odds for success on surveillance. And I mean, I have the full course, the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance. Make no mistake, I teach you everything I know in there. Learned over years and years of actually doing this. And my logic, by the way, on that course is, even if you only learn one thing that keeps you from getting burned one time, worth it. It's worth 10 times that. If you get burned on surveillance, and if you do it enough, you will. We all have been. That's the worst feeling. That is the worst feeling. And I would pay 10 times to get out of that, because it's just miserable. And you got to go to your client, and who knows what problems have been caused by it. You'll live, this will all work out. But why, if you can avoid the feeling of it, even if there weren't other consequences, totally worth it. So consider, if you're going to do surveillance work, don't get it just out of curiosity. If you're really going to go out there and do it, the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance over at ShadowAnyone.com, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in a streaming format now. So if you got any questions about it, please reach out to me. I would love to be able to answer it or get other perspectives on these things. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.